descriptions at this point, okay? And I guess I want to start here, is that I want you to understand why these descriptions are so important, okay? Because if you're not crystal clear about what you're trying to do with your story, it's going to be very difficult to write a good one, okay? So if you're a little bit murky, your enterprise story is going to be murky, and that's not good. Some of you, I think, you've got a good subject, and I think you put a lot of thought into it, which is awesome. The trouble is, you're still having a hard time having a real focus, okay? And it's vital that you have a focus, so that, for instance, if you're Dawson, you're doing sports funding for school sports. What is the story? Dawson, what's the story, would you say? What's the focal point at this point?
Like why? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know
Okay.
how to explain it.
Yeah, see, and that's, and I'm not picking on you, but what needs to happen, where you need to go, and where a lot of you need to go, is you need to get to the next point. You have to be crystal clear what you're after, okay? Like, I would suggest, I just looked over yours, and that's why I mentioned you, is that, to me, the story is this. And maybe you disagree, and you can convince me otherwise, but I think the story is, it's too much of the burden being placed on boosters. And not only boosters, but on the athletes themselves. Because you guys are always having to sell stuff. If you're a three-sport athlete, you got to sell stuff every single sports season. And that's besides doing your academic work, going to your practices and your games. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, when am I going to have time to eat and sleep, right? And the other part is, at what point, I mean, the more boosters raise, it seems like the more schools expect boosters to raise. So suddenly, the school budget for sports continues to go down, and what the boosters have to raise goes up. Here's the other part, and this could be your sidebar, because I mentioned this, is that, what about all these businesses in town, like the corner store? How many sports teams go to them saying, hey, could you sponsor this? Could you do this? I bet you they get bombarded with different organizations looking to them to contribute some money. It would be very interesting, a great sort of case study / sidebar to look at some business that is very generous and see how much money they contribute. Like, for instance, when I was a sports writer for the Sentinel, I did a story on this. And I went to the jewelry store. What's a jewelry store in Waterville? Days Jewelers. Oh my gosh. The amount of money. They have a dedicated fund that they spend every year. They have a meeting with all their head honchos, and they agree to a certain amount of money that they're going to contribute to fundraising efforts. And it was a considerable sum of money. And they do this because they want to be good corporate citizens, and they believe in this. And I mean, it's great public relations too, right? I mean, everybody thinks highly of them because they're such a generous member of the community. But it's a lot of money. And at some point, they have to say, sorry, we've spent our budget. And you can understand that, right? You can only spend so much. So maybe the point, is too much being put on boosters and really, when you say boosters, you end up talking about businesses in the community too. And not only businesses in the community, what about all the people that get hit for, buying the coupons or buying the cookie dough or the pizza kit? You know what would be a great little graphic is to have a list of fundraising projects that take place at Messalonsky each year. Maybe 10 of them. And I bet you'd find at least... What about robotics? How much do you guys raise each year?
60, 70,000.
Wow! 60 or 70,000. That's a lot of money. That's not in the school budget.
No, they don't. They maybe give us 5,000 and that's it.
Okay.
We had 5,000.
And that isn't part of that. Is that for you guys, or is part of that stipends for your coach?
No, the coach. I don't know. A lot of it is for us, but I don't know how much. I don't think any of it goes to the coach. But I don't know.
Okay. That might be a part. The stipend might be apart from the funding. Okay. So my point is, man, you really have to figure out what exactly is my story, because I think just about all of you, I think, have good subjects. But the challenge is, what to zero in on, okay? Because, and I'm going to tell you, don't get the impression that, well, if I zero in on something, maybe I won't have enough to write about. Yes, you will. There's still a ton to write about. But it just gives you more of a clear objective, and that's what you need for this, okay? Without that clear objective, you're going to have a hard time. And you know what? I was going to give you guys a retake on the mechanics, because did you see I graded it?
Yeah,
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eliminate that grade.
Oh, bless.
Because you don't have time to do a retake. You don't have time unless you got a good grade. Like if you got a grade of 16 or better and you want to keep it, I'll let you keep it. It'll be like an extra credit.
Grade 16 or better?
Well, this is at a 20, meaning that would be at least an 80. Yeah, 16 itself would not be good. You would not want to keep that. No, but no. At this point, you have to get these 2 final pieces done by Monday. And you know what? I want to give you as much time as possible. So we're not doing quizzes.
Bless.
Doesn't change my grade at all.
Okay, does everybody understand my point? Okay, and this is what I want to see happen. If any of you really feel like, you know what, at this point, I'm kind of murky, then come see me and we'll discuss it and we'll try to make it crystal clear. Okay? I cannot have people with murky ideas about what they're writing. And I think I've talked to some of you already, and I think you're already, kind of going the right direction. Okay? But also, if I have not read your description, man, I will get it through it in class today and put it in the grade book. I'm not going to grade the sidebar stuff. But if you want to mention it to me, pass it by me. So I...
But you don't have to make a
Yeah, don't write a formal, because you got enough to do, okay? But tell me what you plan to do, and so you can pass it by me, and I can say, yeah, I think that will work. Or maybe I'll say, well, that's kind of good, but what about this? Okay? Because everybody's going to have a sidebar, and you want to make sure that you're going to choose one that's going to be a good complement to your main story. Okay? And what you should be thinking is, this is like a case study. Like, who's doing body image and they're doing something on like a particular student? That's good. That works.
Your interview
Okay.
right there too, right? He told me.
Yeah, that works. Boy, this guy's going to be a popular dude.
Yeah, that's what, he was like, yeah, Josh Joy's interviewing
Yeah.
too. I was like,
But no, that's good. There was a student I had last year who lost a tremendous amount of weight. at some point.
Gary Fisher.
And
Is it Gary?
No, it was Nick.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
I mentioned that because I just saw him today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
DeMarco. One of the two.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh,
is
yeah.
everybody clear on what we're doing? Okay. So again, come see me. I am here as a major resource. Okay. I want everybody to do well on this. Okay. Go to it.